saw some of you guys also had this difficulty. For example, your bands weren't showing. So this shows the correct one, but you had to do it one by one to do it to do everything alright. Just click on one of them. You go select similar.
So select similar.
And you go view group properties. If you go here, it does it one by one. You can do group properties. View group properties.
You can do the whole lot at once.
You can go change band. You can just change it here and go.
You can change them back to whatever your corridor was called, and you only keep one. So that's brilliant, and it's a quick little demo on how to do the whole lot. You'll have a similar amount in your assignment.
Can you do it again, Jim? Sorry.
So you click on one of them, select similar. You go view group properties, and you just change band, and then your views.
Yeah, your bands will be named differently. Yeah. So you can still do it the way I demonstrated, but this obviously will save you some time. So you can go back to old school, or you can go back to I didn't realise that was how one could do it. That's actually, we could go to the next step. What? You stay where you are just for a second. I'm going to go to here. Yep, and that's all ready to go. That's why I'm, yeah, so just what? Okay. So you notice James has got everything pretty much separated, but it's better that they're further apart because this one here might end up in one of your viewports when you bring it through. So you're better off trying to get things a little bit more organised before you bring it through to AutoCAD. You'll notice that this is in 2D, this is in 2D, but your ground profile will be in 3D. Now the problem with 3D, thank you, is that when you go to do hatching, it won't click on it, or it won't hatch. So if you've got something that's in 3D, and you click there, you click there, you click there, and you click there, and say I'll do a hatch, the hatch command doesn't work in 3D. It wants you to click on something with 2D. So that means the Z values need to be altered. And once it's in AutoCAD, you can do that, no problem at all. You change everything to flatten everything off, so you can now use it as an ordinary AutoCAD file, okay? And that was some of the problems that you had hatching in your very first assignment for me last semester, because it wasn't hatching because some of the points were still in 3D. And I did that purposely to make you kind of redo the boundary, and it's what happens. Survey companies give you data that's still in 3D. Now, I'm going to just flick back to my PC for a second, and we're going to open up the week 3 notes again. I've got a feeling that I may have changed them. I have. Okay, so if you haven't downloaded this, download it. It's changed just a tiny bit at the end, just to take in what I'm about to say. I'll get you in a minute. Not quite you are. So I haven't got that last bit that James told us about, but I have got the end product there with the different cross sections in there. Now somewhere in here should exporting to AutoCAD. Okay, so it's totally up to you the way you want to do it. Oops, I don't know where you've gone now. I will try and find it. So we'll go back to James's computer. So looking at James's, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to ruin anything of his, but he's got the long section a little bit too close to the plan, so I would move that away. And the next thing that I would do is I would check these text types and arrows just to make sure that I'm happy with the presentation. To me, maybe these numbers are a little bit too far away from the spot heights. They could be closed up a little bit, so maybe you can go in and adjust some of that from your earlier learnings. I'm happy enough with that sort of spacing on his arrows. No more than that, please. James's changes, the text is very big. So your assignment, you've been told your text heights. So now's the chance to change it if you want to, or if you're more confident using AutoCAD, you can do it with the old paste match properties. It's up to you. What do you want to do there? Do you want to do it within Civil3D before you export it, or do you want to change that in AutoCAD? Now I have had students do this class that only know Civil3D, and I have had students that are much better in CAD and prefer to do that side of things there. So I'll be interrogating your file for assignment 1, and you won't have any of these long sections or anything like that for assignment 1. You'll just have your plan view. I don't think you'll have these lines across there for chainage. You'll just have your centre line, etc. So I'll be looking at your tool space. Down here, I'll be looking at your point groups and your alignments and everything, and I'll be marking accordingly. So there's no marks for poor CAD work. There's no, but there might be marks for not having adjusted things to good text types. So this leads on to trying to do assignment 2, which most of you, I assume, will try and do because it's 50% of this course. So we need to export this from AutoCAD. So just clicking back to so somewhere in here I had the so under downloads, here's something new, week 3. I lost this before, but I've got it back. So go to the section in your notes, if you haven't already downloaded the new notes, go to the section called AutoCAD, exporting to AutoCAD. So we've got to go up the top here to output. You can see output along the top of the drawing. I'll go back into the drawing. Then you go to output, top. Then we go to export 3D drawing. Click on that. And we get an option of where we want to put it. Now, unfortunately, I'm not sure where this is going to go. Will it go to where? So that'll go to your flash drive. Okay, so I'll go export. You can give the file a name. In this case, it's W3. A destination file name, prefix, AutoCAD 2025, just so that I know that that is the 2025 drawing and not the Civil3D one. And it will export 2 files, one of them of which we're going to use. I'm not sure what the other one is. It's a layout plan, okay. Yeah, well, in CivilCAD you can also do various layouts. if you're experienced, you can bring the title block in and everything, but I suggest you do that in AutoCAD, because you all know how to do that from previous classes. Just go okay to that, and I guess we're going to have to find where we put it. Yep. So James is going to fire. I'm going to fire up AutoCAD. This, AutoCAD. Yeah, but I have to open it with AutoCAD.
Oh, with that.
So I don't know. You'll have to go back in and open AutoCAD English, and then we open up that file we just saved. But we're not there yet. We're not too far off.
Name is this one?
Whatever you practice.
And was that W3 that we had? Oh, here it is. So notice, because I put 2025 beside it, I've got two files. I'll be opening up that one there called model.
Yep.
Okay. Now here's the thing that you've got to remember. I think I've put it in here for you.
Open what?
You open that. You open that file that you just said.
Right. So to make everything 0 in the Z, now every point in AutoCAD has got three, an X, Y and a Z. X and Y is your coordinates and the Z is the Z height. Okay, so we need to flatten all that and get rid of the Z heights. And there's a clever little command in AutoCAD called FLATTEN, which I really wish I could do with my tummy. Flatten. So, oh sorry, you're supposed to select all the objects. I might as well select everything, but to be honest, the cross sections and long sections and the profile don't need it. Let's try again. FLATTEN, enter. Select the objects, enter. Remove hidden lines, I guess yes, Y. Enter, and it's doing it. It may take some time. Hopefully it won't take the whole class time up. And it's going through anything with a Z height, it is flattening. So at this point, you can't bring it back into Civil3D and you know, do all the ground profiles that we showed you. Remember we did the orbit thing and we had a look at it in a 3D mode because we're now flattening the whole thing. I don't know how long this is going to take. I know on my home computer it takes a few minutes, but we're working with client computers, so who knows. James's isn't on client. There we are, it's all done. So any point here that we click on and we list, from now on should have no Z value. Oh, it has got a Z value. Okay, so if it's still got Z values, then we have to go and do it a second time. So flatten and enter, and that should.
Yeah.
Is that Civil3D or? Oh, I'm not sure. What is that?
The second one should do it. I've had to do this quite a few times before.
What is that? Where did you?
Now, I've also included in here some additional notes at the bottom, which we didn't go through last week. And it's just for people that want to explore some options of Civil 3D further. Like, for example, you can do what's called plan production, which means you can set all your layout space to print at once. So you hit the button once and it prints all your layout space, plan, cross section, everything like that. So yeah, you won't need to do that for your assignments, but if you are trying to kind of con your way into a job interview, I'd suggest you read some of this and get a little bit better at it, because the first thing that they might say is, oh, so you know Civil 3D, do you? Oh, yeah. You know how to do profiles and sections and stuff? Yep. Oh, we use section sheeting at work. It's really important. Oh, so you know how to do that? And you're nodding your head and saying no at the same time. Okay? So that's the sort of situation you really will need to read these extra notes and go into it in more detail. They say you can't steal things from a thief. Well, you can't talk BS to someone that knows what BS is. And that's why you've got to be careful at job interviews that you've done quite a bit of your homework. There's additional notes on surfaces and rebuilding everything, which you might find useful in your assignment, but it's just some additional help there. Some of that was given to me by a student who'd been on Civil 3D for, I think 6 years. Somebody last semester. So we'll go on and have a look at this and see what's going on here, and to see if we've finally flattened it. No. Now going back to your assignment for
So we don't need to do this for but after the volume.
When you have done.
I did before, but
No, then here.
when I opened
Hold on. What did you say with us?
see the first one.
Oh.
We leave it at
Or do we have to turn off the shaky?
should be it should be the one with the explanation. That's Susan.
Yeah, no, this is 3D.
No, the need is flat.
This is the one, but
Oh yeah, there is that. That's correct. That's correct.
You want this one?
Yeah, it is correct. Just let it.
This is the
Oh,
Simon
is
one.
that this
Is that the
one?
Simon one or is that the thing?
Yeah, that's his.
That's
his
the
correct.
Simon one,
That's
right?
what he exported.
no, I didn't export this one. Exported this one. See?
So we start off with part A. Creating a surface, we did week 1. Placing a boundary, we did week 1. Changing the styles to display the contours every 0.2 meters. Major 1 meter, minor 0.2 meters. We did week 1. Water flow arrows, I think we're week, it says see week 3 guide. So we're bouncing around a little bit. None of that was tricky, it was all explained. You probably won't have to do too much extra work. Model space of Civil3D provided an existing site plan with existing surface contours, contour labels and water flow arrows. So I can't remember what week that was in, but you'll need to look at your notes to see how to do that. You will start from that point and finish on that point. All right, you notice that's worth 3 marks. If you don't start and finish on those 2 points, you may be at risk of losing all of your 3 marks for doing that. You need to have a length between 315 and 345. Use no more than 3 curves. 2's fine. 1, I'd be careful, because first of all, it doesn't allow you any adjustment. And what you're going to find at some point is that we are going to put some trees, ponds, tracks, all that sort of thing onto your drawing. And if your alignment needs just a little bit of adjustment, you can move the curves and that sort of thing. But like I showed you, but if you've only got 1 curve, it might not work getting through some of the stuff you have to do, okay? So I'm making this a bit more interesting and a little bit more realistic. You usually find that as you get more experienced in offices, they give you the crappy work, which is trying to work something out, how to get between here and here and, you know, maintain the same speed, blah, blah, blah. It can be quite interesting, road design, especially when you do get these problems. Now, it's saying the final plan view will be to scale of 1 to 500. Well, you've got to, you know how to set that up. There was I think it was a and Z setting that was 1 to 500. So it's the same as what the example was.
No,
I
think it slipped.
What you're having to do though is tonight, when I go through my CAD stuff, I'll just remind you how to work out the text heights. And you'll have to work backwards from that to work out what text heights you're going to need at 1 to 500, a la design and drawing. So once you've figured that out, it's not a hard sum to do. I'll show you that tonight's notes. Then you need to work backwards into Civil CAD, because when you hand your assignment in, I don't want to see layout, no title blocks, nothing like that, just your Civil CAD file in model space. Easy. All right? I don't need labels, I don't need text. I don't need labels on it, pointing to things. None of that, just what we did in Civil3D. All right? Most people, as an indication, will get between 7 and 10 for this part of the assignment. Now we're getting a wee bit more complicated. We're going to get into the horizontal and vertical alignments. And as you all know, you make one mistake and got to go backwards and find out what you did and all the rest. So there's a bit of toing and froing in this. That should not take very long. Not if once you get back into it. That's relatively straightforward. By the alignment is just a centre line, nothing else. Don't have to put a width on it. You don't have to build up the little profile. You don't have to do a long. You know, it's all a lot simple stuff. When you start doing your horizontal and vertical alignments, that's when we're going to do the long section. And you're going to be putting in some vertical curves, create an assembly, slightly different to what you did. So I'm just going to make you work a little bit harder to find those. Create a corridor. And your volume, you're going to keep adjusting it. If you want those 3 marks, you're going to keep adjusting it till it's under 10 cubic meters. You don't, just pump out that volume and hope that I give you something for it, okay? And then the fun starts. We're going to be producing using the CAD standards and notes provided in Moodle, and in layout space, you're going to propose a site plan, cross sections. So those cross section sheets will go into some cross section plans. Now I would suggest that even although they got that all onto one sheet, or James did, maybe one and a bit, you're probably going to need at least 2, maybe 3. Because remember I made you do all those notes and labels and points and hatching and all that? Yeah, by the time you kind of do it, it ends up taking quite a bit of space up. I did get one student squeezed it onto 2 last, but it's easy. I mean, you've got them there for you, you're just going to put them onto 3 sheets. And just remember, they need to be in order. Sheet 1 should have chainage 0 to whatever, and then you pick up from that on sheet 2, and finally on sheet 3 or 4 you keep going in order. You don't just grab the cross sections and put them all over the place, okay? In the old days we used to print them out, put them on the floor and get down, believe it or not, on our knees and watch and have a look at the road design as it went along the cross sections, because that was the best way we could do it. And that's actually how they make movie files of cross sections as well. They have them in order as you're driving down the road. That's the most marks. You just about pass this whole thing by doing really well in the cross section. So don't just go bang, oh, I've copied it from Civil3D. That's easy. Think about what I made you do with the cross sections last year. Long section, well obviously Civil3D is going to do all the hard work, but you're going to have to add a few bits and pieces to that too, alright? Anywhere where there's the road or batter slopes and everything needs to be labelled. And there will be marks allocated and marks off for not putting title blocks in correctly. If you've got anything left over from your platform from last year that you did, it would be helpful to see the sort of things that you need to put on some of those drawings. My example answer would be closer to what you should be doing. If you threw it away and thought, yeah, I'll finish that, I'll say the same thing that they said to Liam Neeson. Good luck. Okay, so what my next job is now is to give you an idea of the output that I like to see. Roading is slightly different. For those that didn't do design and drawing with me, you're going to need to really take note of what comes out of here and what is on my notes for this week. All right, I'll make them available now. And I have a few examples too, just to help you in that respect. They aren't, my examples are never A students' work, they're more C students, but I do go over some of the things that they've done right or wrong. Okay? Just in terms of time, it's somewhere between half an hour and an hour, and then you can have the rest of the time to do your assignment or go home or whatever you want to do, okay? So there's a generous amount of time this week. Next week, for the next 3 weeks, the class time is towards assignments. So you may come in and continue with your assignment. Just remember, James and I won't be telling you how to get out of a fix. You'll have to go back to your previous save. It is an assignment. We can't just look at your work and say, oh, do this and do that, and you'll get more marks. That's not how it works, okay? It's different. If you want to ask a question on how to do something on the class examples, that's what I would do. For example, oh, how do you change the text? Oh, I'll go back to my notes. Oh, can you show me how to change the text on this class example? Yes. Right, and then go back to the assignment and do it yourself. All right? Are there any questions before I go over the CAD side of it? Everybody sort of equally confused? Lance, you normally, you had a big day at work today. No? Anyone got anything they'd like to ask? What about Men in Black? You got anything? No, you're fine. Okay. Well, we'll get into the next side of things. You got your normal glasses on this week. Confused. Not you, glasses. Me and Blake. So did you get me in trouble with you?
No.
Oh, damn.
He's doing us and he's trying to be a good boy today.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Last week we
Oh, everybody's here.
I thought it was right beside us. That could give a lot of people nightmares. Don't tell them this or
Yeah.
Hello. No, more than I said you could do one, but the problem is that there's going to end up being some trees and path and so on. The idea is
Oh yeah, close it and then you can do it again.
oh, you're
I did do it. I did. Just click on
Yeah.
I thought so.
oh, it's not.
and then you know. Yeah. Close it, close it.
Das kept happening.
No, close it and
No,
then.
it's kept happening.
No, no.
It did many times.
You don't want to because your symptoms will
First time.
And then 2 layers. Do we need to come up?
Yeah.
I was doing
Okay, we'll get this out of the road so that you can
Oh,
carry
no,
on
that's
with your
all right.
assignment.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
For those that are
Because in
filming,
AutoCAD,
not a bad
what
idea.
you showed us, once you export it to AutoCAD,
Or
you flatten
take,
it.
big one.
So it's gonna be 1 dimension, like 2 dimensions. Right now it's 3 dimension right now.
How do you know what?
Yeah. Flatten. We're gonna flatten it when we export to AutoCAD.
No,
Having your assignment 1 or 2.
That's okay. Yeah. Roger's not. Yeah, he's not gonna look for that. Everyone is the same. It happens because these points they all have elevation.
Sorry, bro.
They all have elevation. That's where the points are from.
Yeah, you
The
can
line
put
is
something.
starts from elevation 0.
You know what I put?
Elevation
Last
0.
time I put here.
But these ones they all have the points all have elevation.
Why you don't use some?
Yeah, what we need.
Yeah, just that one.
Okay, guys, if you don't want to listen to this, please be respectful of everybody else and just, carry on with your work quietly.
Yeah, but he's not doing anything, so I don't know.
If you do want to listen, you're welcome.
Yeah.